Hi, and welcome to Mountain View Mesa. Today we're going to do a cost breakdown of going from nothing to getting to a stem wall in our house building project. We're filming this in July of 2023 in Southwest Colorado. Your area may be different, and it also may be different if you're watching this after July of this year. We're going to go through each cost and what it was for us and kind of explain why that cost was about that much. So the first thing we needed before we did anything on our house, we needed a permit from the county. That cost us $3,552. There's not really a way to make that cheaper. It's just how much it costs. The county decides it, and you just have to live by it. There's no way around it. Also, to qualify for our construction loan, we needed builder's risk insurance. And so for us, that was $2,821. This is probably going to be higher than most people because even though Greg has a background in construction, we've actually never built a house before. This is our first one. So that makes us a higher risk. The second factor is that the risk insurance is built on the house's value after it's built, and the house's value in this area is going to be a lot higher than what the cost is to build it. So if something were to happen, we would get a bigger payout, but that also means that we have to pay more upfront. The third factor is that we live in a fire zone, so our house is really prone to fires. We've never had a fire close to our house, but surrounding our house, there's been one every few years or so, and it's pretty big. It's been newsworthy, and so there's always that risk that our house could be consumed by a fire, and they have to take that into consideration. So if you're looking for builder's risk insurance, you can probably get it cheaper, but this is the cost for us. If you remember from our first video, we went and dug our footer, and the day after it snowed. And so we didn't want to lose all the hard work that we had done, so we purchased concrete blankets, and that cost us $1,560.88. This cost is definitely avoidable. Also, all that time lost was avoidable if we had just been a little bit faster and we had been able to beat the weather. If we were to do this again, we would know to either start in spring or to start in fall, just enough to get boxed in so we could work inside during the winter and we wouldn't have this setback again. To get our footer dug was $2,900. I feel like this cost was really low. It was definitely worth a lot more, but we had a friend who had a backhoe and has this particular skill set come do it for us. I think he gave us the friends and family discount. That was really very kind of him. Thanks, Dan. We appreciate you. After Dan finished the footer, we compacted everything that he had dug out. We did not own a compactor, so we had to rent a heavy-duty one. The cost for that rental for one day was $333.37. After everything was compacted, we were ready to put in our foundation footer. The cost for the foundation forms was $528.24. What this included are just 2x8 boards. In addition to the 2x8 boards, we also had stakes that we had to buy to put into the ground. We already had fasteners on hand, so we didn't have to purchase those. So this cost may be a little bit higher or lower for someone else, depending on what materials they already have on hand and what we had to buy in comparison. The next thing that we purchased was rebar for $1,571.82. And this rebar, it wasn't just for the footer. It also was all the rebar for our stem wall, and we still have a little bit left over. So that may or may not give you a good idea of how much that is. After all the rebar was in place, we ordered concrete for $2,866.06. And this came from a company that specializes in concrete because this is our foundation. We don't want to skimp. So it came mixed by an expert in a concrete truck, and we also ordered a concrete pump because it just makes it so much faster to pour and it saves so much time. It's definitely worth the value for us. After the concrete had cured, we were ready to lay our stem wall. So we bought $3,625.43 worth of ICF block, and that paid for 32 inches high of a stem wall, so that's 2 rounds of ICF block. Again, we used the rebar that we had already purchased earlier, and we ordered concrete again. This time it was $4,709.89, and this was 2 concrete trucks and a concrete pump. This cost is also a little bit high because we miscalculated our concrete, so we had to wait for a second concrete truck to come in, which meant that the pump was on hold. So this cost us a little bit more. If we were to do it again, we would do it a little differently and save a little bit of money that way. The next, we had 2 things that happened around the same time. So Dan came back. There was a gap between our stem wall and what was going to be in our slab, and so he helped us fill in around the corners and make sure that everything was flat, and that cost us another $1,000. And we purchased waterproofing from Polyguard, and that includes waterproofing membrane, gap filler, the special glue to adhere the waterproofing membrane, and dimple board. And that cost us $4,028.11. In total, going from nothing to having a footer and a stem wall and a slab that we could work with, it cost us $29,856 You'll probably notice that this is different than the amount that I gave from our first video. I had missed a few invoices and we had some invoices that came in late that weren't included, but we're including them in this video. This is our definite total cost for getting to this point in our project.